All right, so in this last section, I'm going to go over all the different ways that you can use your new cinematic animation. So what we're going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be showing you how you can play your animation if you're using it as a cutscene in a game. So just different ways that you can activate it. So let's get started right away, shall we? All right, so I'm going to hop into the default viewport here, and let's go over to our world outliner up here, and let's find our cinematic. So this is going to be our boss master. And if we go into our details panel here, we can actually set this animation to autoplay. And so if we tick this box right here, as soon as we play the game, it's going to start this animation, and it'll make it basically an opening animation for this level. So if you want your level, a level of your game to open with that animation, then that is probably the best way to activate it. Now, one thing that you may have noticed there is how it kind of the screen kind of flashes there from another viewpoint for just like a half a second, and this is because we actually have it set up for something else. So let's go into our sequence here, and I'll show you why that is and how you can prevent that. So currently, we have our cinematic set up to fade in. See, so you can be anywhere in the game, right? You can be playing the game somewhere, and then it starts right here, and it doesn't actually take control of the cutscene, right? It doesn't actually change the camera view until a second later. Actually, it's exactly a half second later. So if we wanted to prevent that, all we'd need to do is drag the playhead to the beginning of our shot one. So now when we hit play, you're going to see it perfectly brings us into our cutscene. But for the next part, for the next activation method, we actually are going to bring our playhead back to -15 where it was previously. And I'm going to show you how to fade in if you were to run over to here or something. So let's go to our create tab here. We're going to go down to volumes, and then we're going to go down to trigger volume. So we can just drag this right in here, and now we have what's called a trigger box or trigger volume. I mean, you can call it either one. And if we scale this out across here, we can create a blueprint event that will activate our sequence once we enter this volume. So we can just set it right up in here. And now when we play, I guess we need to make it so that our animation doesn't automatically play. So let's go back to our boss sequence here. And I'm going to turn off autoplay. So now when we hit play, we are put into the third person character, and our cutscene takes place right over here, and our trigger box is right in here. So let's set up this event. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our trigger box here, and we're going to click on the Blueprints tab, and then we're going to go to the level blueprint. So we're going to hit Open Level Blueprint right here, and let me just bring this, right in there. And we've got a couple different things here set up for this place as an asset, some stuff that came with it. And all that we need to do is right-click, and then we're going to do Add Event for Trigger Volume 1. And then we're going to go to Collision and Add On Actor Begin Overlap. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this, and we're going to go, we're going to drag off of the other actor pin here, and we're going to type in Cast to Third Person Character. So what this is doing is it's saying as soon as something overlaps our trigger volume, as soon as it senses that there's something there, it's going to check if that thing is the third person character. And if it is, then it will continue out on our, through our blueprint here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to call a do once node. This way we can't trigger this cutscene more than once. We can only go into it one time and make it play one time. And then after this, what we're going to do is we're going to play sequence or create level sequence player. And then what we can do is we can select the asset. So we're going to select master boss fight right here. And then we're going to drag off of return value, and we're going to look for play. And we're just going to use this one right here that just says play. And now what you will see when we play the game and walk over here, what you will see is that it does a hard cut to our sequence. Now, so it obviously our sequence does start playing, but it did a hard cut rather than fading in the way that we had it in here. And as far as I can tell, I think it may just be a bug with the early access version of Unreal 5, which I would assume will be fixed shortly. But it does seem that it does that the fade track does work when auto playing, and in the editor here as well. So not entirely sure why that is. There are workarounds if you were to make an animated widget blueprint. So if that is something that you're interested in, I would definitely recommend looking into it. There are definitely tutorials out there on that subject. But another thing that you'll notice when we're playing the animation in, either from Blueprint like this, or if we play it from an autoplay, you'll see we can still move the mannequin around. He's visible, and we can still control him. So what we need to do now is we need to program it so that we can remove our character during the cutscene. So let's do that. All right, so what we can do is we can go over to our cast to third person blueprint right here, and as third person character, right, we'll drag off of this, and we're going to type in disable input. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this node and we're just going to bring it right over here, and we're going to plug it in here. And then what we're going to do for player controller is we're just going to drag off and we're going to type in get player controller. So now we will not be able to move during or when the cutscene starts. And then what we can do is we can drag off of here again as third person character, and we can say set hidden in game. And what we're going to do is under rendering, there's going to be one that just says set actor hidden in game. You're not going to take the capsule component or mesh, just the one that says specifically set actor hidden in game. So we're going to take this one here, and we're going to drag this over as well. And we're going to set new hidden to true, making it hidden in game. So now when we play the game and run over to our trigger box here, you can see we do become invisible, and we cannot move. And you can see that happened a little bit early, since we do have our playhead set a little bit early. So we could just set that forward a little ways, and then that would fix that issue. So yeah, as you can see there, it just activates the cutscene. I can't move around. You can't see me moving around. And then what we can do is we can reactivate these things once the cinematic ends. So what we can do here is we can go to back to our cinematic, and we can go to the end frame here, which is 493. And 493 at 30 FPS, we can do the calculations here to figure out how long of a delay we need. So if we come in back into our blueprint here and add a delay, delay, and then we can just put in, let's see, sorry, what was that? 493. So we do 493 divided by 30, and it'll automatically do the calculation for us. And that is how long we have before the cutscene ends, 16 seconds, 0.4333 something. And what we can do is we can just duplicate, or sorry, I probably shouldn't duplicate these. What we'll do is we'll go back to our third person character here, and we'll go enable input off of player controller. Once again, we're going to go get player controller. And then we're going to drag off of here again, and we're going to set hidden in game. We're going to grab the exact same node, except this time we're going to leave this checkbox unticked. And so we'll just drag this over here, and now our cutscene will play, and after the cutscene is completed, we will get right back into our player view. As you can see here, and now we can move once again. So that is how we can activate this blueprint, or this activate this sequence through Blueprint. So then once again, if you plan on using your sequence as an intro cutscene, what you'll need to do, of course, is select autoplay like we did previously. And then since you're not going to want your player being able to move around and interfere with the cutscene, what you're going to want to do is go back to your blueprint, basically delete everything except for the disable input, set actor hidden in game, delay, and re-enable input. Keep the delay and all that stuff in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new event, and this is going to be event begin play. So on event begin play, what we're going to do is we're going to get all actors of class, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get a reference to our player blueprint. In my case, it's called the third person character. And if you're using like the first person template, then it'll be the first person character. Or if you've made a custom character blueprint, then that'll be whatever you named it. And then what we're going to do is on the out actors pin, we're going to get a copy right here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to plug this into the target. And we're going to plug the white output into the input for the disable input node. And then we're just going to plug this reference into all of our other nodes. That way we are getting a reference and controlling the correct blueprint. So now when we play our intro animation, you can see it puts us right in game, but we can't move around. I'm pressing keys right now, and as you can see, as you will see, once the cutscene ends, I will still be standing right at the beginning point, right back here, as you can see. So that is it. That is how you are able to activate your cutscene through either auto playing it or through Blueprint. And in the next video and last real main video, I'm going to be going over some of the other Blueprint controls that you can use to adjust and to manipulate your sequence through Blueprint, and yeah, just some other useful tips. So I will see you in that next video.